What's happening, everybody? I got a quick question for all my hardworking type A people out there. How are you managing your stress? I mean, are you trying to manage it by possibly exercising more? Or maybe you're putting more things on your to-do list so you can accomplish more things and that'll cool you out. Or you're going the unfortunate route of having to partake of alcohol or other substances to take the edge off. If either of those are your solution, you came to the right video. My name's Achidi, I'm a personal trainer and life coach, and I specialize in helping type A, hardworking individuals find simple and sustainable solutions for a lot of life's problems. Today we're gonna be tackling stress management. But before I get into today's topic, help me out real quick. I wanna just grow my channel to 100 subs. Let's just take 5 quick seconds and hit the subscribe and the like button. I wanna grow to 100 subs. Thank you very much for all that. Now let's get right to it. Starting off, many of us, myself included, function very well when we are put under stress. Deadlines are what we thrive on, to-do lists, feeling a sense of purpose, always wanting to achieve success, all the above are things that make us high-stress individuals. You can also call us type A. But here's the downside to it. Just because we are masters at thriving when the stress and pressure is on, doesn't mean we need to always live that way. We become dopamine junkies, and dopamine is a chemical our brains produce when we achieve success, hit deadlines, goals, push ourselves to accomplish challenges, that kind of stuff. And if you're constantly living in that kind of a state where you're feeling good because you're accomplishing things, or you feel like you're getting stuff done day in and day out, you're a dopamine junkie, and at some point, your supply runs dry. You can start putting a lot of deadlines onto your schedule, and all of a sudden, you've run out of time in the day, and that stresses you out. So you are a healthy individual, so you exercise, and let's turn up the intensity, but you're running out of time because of all those deadlines, and your workouts now have to be ridiculously hard so you can feel like you did something. Or you're supplementing in other extra exercises just because that wasn't enough earlier. Or the worst of all, you're using alcohol or other drugs to shut the voices down in your head because you can't stand the moments that you don't have something going on. You feel that you just always need to do something, and when there's nothing to do, you will create challenge. You will create conflict. You will create problems in those healthy coping mechanisms, and that's where the problem lies. As a dopamine junkie, you can turn exercise into a drug. You can turn success, work, being involved in just extracurricular activities into a negative. It can become like an actual drug, or God forbid, you double down, you do those things like an addict, and you do addict behaviors with alcohol and other substances. I've been down that road, and I can assure you it doesn't end well. But I'm going to show you what does end well. I'm going to give you 3 easy to apply and to make regular habit steps that will give you what I call a type A timeout. It'll make it so that you can relax. Because that's what you need. Is you've been thriving, or not really thriving, but surviving in that high stress state, thinking that's the way you need to be. It's not. You really need to have those moments where you are up, doing, achieving, and succeeding. Then you really get that feel of achievement instead of constantly searching for it. And I'm gonna show you this quick to apply, but it's a lifetime of benefit that you're gonna get once you start doing it. So here we go with the first step. So the first step to taking the type A timeout is you have to get out of your head. Getting out of your head means not being trapped by the thoughts that are in between your ears, and conversing with someone or a support group that can bring you back here to reality. Because a lot of the stress that we create is because of these voices that are in an echo chamber between our ears, constantly telling us you need to do more. Doing more will make you feel better. If you feel bad, it's because you're not doing enough. Do. You need to chill. And the first step is to get out of this prison here and talk with somebody. If you are comfortable with it, that may mean paying for therapy. If not, going to a religious person and conversing with them, they can give you a sense of balance if that's where your background is. Talking with a trusted friend, not just a gossipy person, but a trusted friend who can actually give you constructive feedback is going to be more beneficial than just another echo chamber that can continue the madness. That's where you need to have a healthy support group, and that often means going outside of your usual friends, coworkers, family, or whomever, and find somebody that can give you a dose of reality so that you can initially get out of your head and move on to the next step. So now we're on to the second step of the Type A timeout, and that involves getting your nervous system to calm down. And that involves doing what I call focused meditation. Now, like many of us that are too busy to consider just emptying our heads and doing nothing, we're gonna actually give ourselves a goal of focusing inward to calm the body down. The way that I found that this works is by using a stretching app on my phone, which gives me daily classes to work on either the tightness in my hips, my shoulders and neck, my back, or I'm actually working on the splits even, believe it or not. So this gives me a very low intensity workout where I can feel my breathing, work in conjunction with my muscles to get the tension out and my joints feel better. So it doesn't mean that you need to make it an intensive thing. That's quite the opposite. You need to find an activity that allows you to connect with your body and your mind. That could be doing stretching with a focus, doing yoga, doing Tai Chi, getting out in nature and hiking. Just spending time at a slow pace that allows you to connect with yourself and your thoughts and your body. So it's open to a lot of interpretation, but look to the other end of the activity spectrum if you're always thinking more is better. In fact, direct yourself to find a way to relax yourself. That's how you can approach it from the Type A perspective. And then that'll set you up for step number 3. And now the third step involves connecting with a slower speed in your brain. And the best way to do that is to connect your thoughts with your hands. Now, what works for me is I actually have purchased a composition book and I write down all of my thoughts. They become the content that you're watching here. Also, some people call it journaling, writing your emotions down, whatever you want to call it. There is a certain kind of connection that happens when I put pen to paper that slows down my thoughts up here. When I try typing on my phone or on the computer, the connection isn't there. Now, if you're someone who doesn't want to write, or you write for work or school, that's fine. Use your hands to create something. You can use clay and do pottery. I used to love that in high school. I'm not a painter, but you can paint. You can do things with your hand. Build some Legos, do a puzzle. Do something low intensity that allows you to use your hands to create something from up here. That's where the connection needs to happen. It can't necessarily happen in the digital space, so video games, being on the computer, your phone doesn't quite work. You need to have that non-digital connection to your thoughts so they can slow down. Being involved in the digital space too much keeps your mind racing. So get a pen and paper, get a paintbrush and some paints, get some sand and build a sandcastle, something that allows you to get creative up here and use those thoughts in something productive and get them out, and then you can do something with them or just put them to the side, or you have a cool little project in your home. That's a 3-step process to the Type A timeout. When it comes down to it, when you're constantly going, you're thriving and surviving on pure dopamine. And eventually your supply runs dry. You can't keep that up, so you need to structure a way to relax and calm down so you can live to see another day. I hope this video gave you some good points to consider and a new routine to put into play. Check out some of the other videos on my channel and have yourself a great week.